Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video. And man, oh man, I know I've been putting off this video for quite some time though, but with us ushering in a brand new year that always encompasses brand new exciting games always look forward to. And I think 2025 is going to be a very stellar year, probably in the same likelihood as 2017 was. Remember when the Switch originally came out that year, and you also had, you know, along with a brand new console, new games and stuff, you also had some cool stuff from PlayStation as well. I just think that 2025 might be on some very similar wavelengths as 2017 happened to be though. I'm just saying though, but for a lot of people out there, maybe your most anticipated game might be Grand Theft Auto 6. Maybe if you're a Nintendo fan, hey, you might be looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicle X, as well as whatever the new system happens to entail. Or if you're a PlayStation fan, you might be really looking forward to a game such as like Ghost of Yotei or whatever though. But in today's video, I'm just gonna go through and just go through my own personal list of games that I'm just highly anticipating, looking forward to for the year of 2025. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. And if you're curious and want to support the channel just a little bit more and become a channel member, then feel free to click that join link down below. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. So to kick this list off, we had to go back to an old school classic. And yes, I'm talking about my old boy, Ninja Gaiden, because man, oh man, I don't know what Koei Tecmo is doing right now. They're dubbing this as the year of the ninja though. I'm like, whole freaking shoot though, because I remember this game was announced back around the Game of the Year award stuff with the Jeff Keighley show back in December of 2024, and it was like one of the very first few announcements in that pre-show though. But yeah, I'm referring to Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and that currently as of now has a window frame release of summer in the year of 2025. And you know, this one's a little bit different. It's not necessarily like a 3D Ninja Gaiden game though, but it is a 2D one in a much similar avenue as like basically like an indie like, but it's like a Metroidvania one. So I feel like this one kind of scratches the itch of like the old school Ninja Gaiden games that we had like back in the NES era and such though. And I love the pixel art, the way how they're moving around, a little bit of combat, even though we didn't necessarily get a whole bunch of combat within that trailer. It was like mostly cinematic, but you did manage to get like a good, I would say about 30 seconds worth of combat and stuff like that though. But it looks really nice and it does look extremely clean though. And I'm always down to play a really cool Metroidvania game. Like look, I love the Metroid series and stuff like that. I can dabble with a good Castlevania here and there though. So hey, if it has that old school Ninja Gaiden flair up on there in terms of like the classic way how it plays, but just make it a little bit more modern and you know, just be really flashy, have very fluid animations and stuff in terms of like the platforming, but also like the hacking and slashing you'll do up in the game, I think we're in for a very strong, great, and amazing time. Now, second on the list, while we're also still talking about some good old Ninja Gaiden stuff though, we actually have a brand new Ninja Gaiden game slated to come out in the fall of this year, because in that latest showcase that we managed to get from the Xbox developer direct, they managed, that was like one of the first mystery games they managed to throw out there as the first announcement, that Ninja Gaiden 4 is back in full force. Like we're getting a brand new number mainline entry ever since we had like those first three games close to around like the Xbox 360 era. And man, oh man, I had the Master Collection there on the Switch though, and I played through one, and I dabble with two here and there though. But interestingly enough, you know, they managed to actually remaster Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and I'm actually playing that right now on the PS5 though. So I was like, hey, I wasn't expecting a shadow drop, let alone that. But back to Ninja Gaiden 4 though, I was like, man, it's crazy to think that between Ninja Gaiden 4, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which they already shadow dropped you know, earlier in January, and then also the fact that now we have Ragebound in the summer. I wasn't expecting 3 different Ninja Gaiden games though, but the way how Ninja Gaiden 4 looks to be shaping out, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a collab between Koei Tecmo as well as Platinum Games, which I was wondering for the longest time, like, what in the world was Platinum Games working on next? I mean, after, they work with some stuff with Nintendo in terms of like the Bayonetta series and such, like, I don't know, they seem kind of rocky and stuff. Seem like people were kind of leaving the studio left and right though. But I'm glad to see like they're at least working on something tangible that we know that's actually in the works though. And from the bits of combat that they managed to showcase off the trailer, it looks to be extremely clean, looks to be really modern as well though. And it looks like we're going to have not only Ryu Hayabusa as what we always are accustomed to, though. It seems like there's going to be also a second playable character protagonist up in this as well. So it looks like we'll kind of be doing some yin and yang between the two of them, though. So it seems like it's going to be a really nice and exciting title, though. And I'll be picking this up on the PS5 whenever it drops out, though. I mean, Xbox is publishing the game, though. But everything I've been seeing from this game looks extremely nice and extremely clean. Hey, when Koei Tecmo said this is going to be the year of the ninja, they certainly were not playing around. All right, then the next one on my list, we got to swing it over to the superhero side of things. While a lot of people might have been liking the Marvel Rivals, which is like the popular hero shooter thing, though, I like it for what it is, though, but it isn't necessarily my cup of tea in terms of hero shooters. But I do like the fact how Marvel put a really good spin on it, though. One game that I feel like a lot of people might necessarily forgot about was the whole entire announcement for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. Now, this was a game that was announced almost like 10 months ago or something like that in the year of 2024. It was like springtime whenever they managed to give us that first trailer of it, though. Hadn't had any really big major updates since then, though. But at the end of the trailer, they did slot it as them having a release window for 2025, assuming if we're not going to have any delays for this game as well, though. Now, while, yes, this one original tease, it was just like a couple to a few minutes of just basically nothing but like cutscenes. We didn't really get a good strong look at the gameplay. I think from the story aspect alone, the fact that you have Captain America set in the year of when World War II was going on, and you had the inclusion of Black Panther, I think you could tell a really nice, interesting story between them two, along with, with it being themed as the rise of Hydra and stuff like that. I always feel like when you go old school Marvel and stuff like that, and you do stuff like that, I think you can always have a pretty good fun time in terms of like just exploring different avenues in terms of the story, the old school setting and stuff like that. I think it's going to paint a pretty well picture, though. Now, the fact that we don't know anything about gameplay is probably the most concerning thing, though, but with it coming out in the year of 2025, at least what they originally stated as, I'm expecting sometime soon we should get another trailer for this game, and then see, obviously what platforms this is coming out to be. I'm fully expecting it to be like an Xbox Series system as well as like a PlayStation game as well, though. But who's to say it could also be for the Nintendo Switch too? I don't know. I mean, we don't know how long this game has truly been in the works, though, but I'm really looking forward to this, along with a handful of other Marvel projects that they announced, but they're probably still a ways off, though. But this is just like one of the first few that we're going to get within this game right here, though. So I'm really looking forward to this. We'll just have to kind of see exactly how the gameplay is going to shape out from here moving forward. In terms of PlayStation, oh my goodness. Hey, the one key game I'm looking forward to, made by Sucker Punch, is none other than Ghost of Yotei. Look, I know this isn't going to be the story that's going to be following Jin, because I felt like we got told a full, complete story within Ghost of Tsushima between, the main story itself and the DLC and stuff. I feel like Jin's story has been told from start to finish. So starting off with a brand new character and starting off in a different era of Japan, I think it's completely the way to go. Look, I know some people might not necessarily vibe or jive with the fact that we have a female protagonist versus a male protagonist, though, because it seems like a lot of these more recent female protagonists as of late have been getting a little bit more of a bad rep versus, some of the guys that we gotten in the past, though. But I'm not really knocking the game for that, because I really love the heck out of Ghost of Tsushima, and Sucker Punch, they know what they were doing in that game, so I still respect all the decisions that they're going to be trying to make moving forward within the inclusion of this brand new game right here, because obviously from the little bits of gameplay, it wasn't that much we managed to get in that first trailer, though. But hey, shoot, we're going to have some guns up in this stuff, though. It looks like they're going to be slinging a whole bunch of different variety of weapons as well, though. So I'm just looking at to see how the Sucker Punch make a brand new Ghost game from the ground up. This is like going to be their first game that they're going to be making dedicated solely for the PS5, and see how that's going to come to fruition right here, because I think there's a lot of things they can do and evolve and improve on within the Ghost series just in general, though. But man, oh man, I love the storytelling and stuff, the way how the environment is, how beautiful those landscapes are, just how open it is. Man, that series does it for me. And Sucker Punch, hey, take your time, but also find a way to get this game out here in 2025. I don't need no delays though. But yeah, that's going to be really exciting stuff right here. And that's all I had for PlayStation in terms of most anticipated games. Look, there's a good chance that Insomniac Games might be able to put something out here though. I would have put the Wolverine game in my list as well. There's a chance it could come out this year, or there's a chance it could get pushed out next year. If we can get a surprise game like a Venom game or something like that in 2025. So there might be something Insomniac that might release this year. If so, go ahead and add that to my list though. But for the sake of this video though, like without any like hardcore concrete information, that's just all I had to go off of right here. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about some games I'm anticipating from Nintendo. Nintendo is a little bit sly on some of their stuff though, but one game that we know for sure that's going to be coming out here fairly soon is Xenoblade Chronicles X, and that's going to be slated to come out in the month of March. So we barely got to wait at least even one more month. And for the longest time, I didn't know whether or not Nintendo was going to be able to bring Xenoblade Chronicles X to the Nintendo Switch. Like, we had everything from the first Xenoblade Chronicles game with the Definitive Edition, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This was going to be a Xenoblade machine. But for the longest time, and I remember in some interviews and stuff, they always said that it was going to be a very demanding task, if not almost impossible, for them to move all of this stuff from the Wii U over to the Switch. Like, look, they had like a big old major patch within the Wii U version where just to optimize it and speed it up, it was like 12 something gigabytes or something like that, just to make the game a little bit more optimal, even on the Wii U version though. And I was wondering, well, how they're going to include stuff within like the two, dual screens and stuff between the tablet and what's going on the screen and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of questions that were going to need to be solved with a whole bunch of answers. However, Monolith Soft never fails to disappoint. They're like one of my two favorite studios up there, along with Insomniac Games, where, hey, whatever they're doing, I just completely trust them with it. They're whiz at their craft though. And everything that we managed to see from the first trailer we got to the more recent one that we managed to get like within the first week of January or so, hey, everything looks extremely clean. It looks like they cleaned up some of the graphics. It seems like the art style just got a little bit of a major tick up though. But there's also brand new content that we managed to see at the end of the second trailer that is exclusive in this new version for the Definitive Edition versus what we didn't manage to get in the first iteration of the game back in the Wii U. So that's really cool that they took a note out of Xenoblade Chronicles 1's Definitive Edition thing where they're going to add in extra new content. And who knows what else that we might be able to see up in this game as well. Because they showed us a little bit of gameplay, but it hasn't been, we hadn't seen like a big blowout on it, at least not just yet though. So I imagine we might get one more trailer thing that just kind of goes all into the gameplay, what you kind of expect from side quests. Look, there's going to be like a whole online infrastructure of the game that was on the Wii U that's more than likely going to show up at least in this version as well. So I'm looking forward to also being able to play this game along with some of my friends that are going to probably pick this game up on day one though. So I'm really looking forward to this Nintendo game in particular though. Now the next game, which I feel like we'll probably get a little bit more information towards the end of February though, is none other than Pokémon Legends ZA. Like, look, we had that game announced almost a whole entire year ago, and we don't have much more information to go on since then though. But if Pokémon Legends ZA is anything like what we had with Pokémon Legends Arceus, look, I will stand and die on this hill that Pokémon Legends Arceus was literally my favorite Pokemon game on the Switch, point blank period. Over Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, easily. Sword and Shield, easily. Scarlet and Violet, easily. Even though, yes, graphically wise speaking, it's not necessarily the cleanest game out there though, but what they're able to do with the story and what you're able to do with the gameplay, it was just freaking phenomenal though. Now with it being, within the world of what would be Kalos, I'm pretty sure, and whether or not they're going to do it like old school like they did with Legends Arceus, where it's like a point really in the distant past, or they're going to pick a point in the distant future, or it's going to be like maybe pretty close to present day shortly after the events of X and Y. I'm really looking forward to it because for the longest time, look, we did not have anything in the vein of a Pokemon Z, which we really got gypped out on during that generation. Like, we literally should have had something Pokemon Gen Z related, or I said Gen Z, Pokemon Z related within that generation though. But hey, maybe they're gonna make up for lost time, because there's some really nice story beats that they managed to tell in the stories of X and Y. But maybe we'll get like the full story of it, like, you know, for example, like AZ as the character, or that hidden Floette and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they can dive and delve upon though. So I'm really looking forward to see what they're gonna be able to do within this game. And we probably don't have to wait much longer, just like probably a few more weeks until like the more recent Pokemon Direct that we usually always get at the end of February, on February the 27th. So hey, here's hoping that this is going to be a great Pokemon game though. And more than likely, obviously, it's going to be for Nintendo Switch, but who's to say if we'd also get a SKU version for the Nintendo Switch too? I'm just saying. And then lastly, this one's a little bit of a reach, but I will just go ahead and say this anyway though, because who knows what else is going to be announced for the rest of this year when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2, because we already managed to get a tease of a brand new Mario Kart game, and until they say anything else in terms of what this new Mario Kart game could be called, I'm still gonna call it Mario Kart 9 on this channel though. So we managed to get some very glimpse or really small preview looks of Mario Kart 9 within that Nintendo Switch 2 trailer. And the biggest thing we can get out of it and pull is like what Donkey Kong managed to get a redesign though. A lot of the characters in that trailer seem to be a little bit more expressive, especially Mario when he's doing like some of them jumps and hops and stuff in the go-kart as well. And then it seems like we have like some brand new power-up that looks like to be the brand new gimmick for this new game though. And outside of that, we don't have too much more that kind of go on after that a lot, unless you just start to kind of speculate a whole bunch though. But regardless of say, I think that Mario Kart game is going to be dropping out on the Nintendo Switch 2 either on launch day, or take a note out of the Nintendo Switch's release where it's like, hey, it's going to release within that launch window, no more than probably a month or 3 months at most before they manage to put out that game. Because Nintendo always typically likes to put out a good single player game and a good multiplayer game at the point of launch. We saw that with the Wii, we saw that with the Wii U and stuff, and obviously saw it with the Switch. So I don't expect them to kind of break that trend, at least when it comes to first party games though. So yeah, that one's another highly anticipated game right there, along with Metroid Prime 4. Now Metroid Prime 4, good gracious sakes alive, like I'm really looking forward to this mess as well, because of the fact that look, we've been waiting for this thing for like the whole entire generation of the Nintendo Switch. I'm fully confident at this point that I feel like this is going to be a Switch 2 and a Switch 1 game. They're going to have two different SKUs for this mess though, because I also think that this could be a day one release in terms of the Switch 2, along with the brand new Mario Kart 9. So I think both of those in tandem, I think, are going to be really exciting games to look forward to playing on the Switch 2 or the Switch in general though. So yeah, that's honestly some great stuff though, and who knows what else Nintendo might actually put out there in terms of brand new releases that could be launching within the rest of 2025. There could be very well be a brand new 3D Mario game. There could be a brand new Nintendo IP that we just have no idea about, such as like how ARMS was when the Switch was first coming out though. So who's to say? Nintendo are always the kings of left field though, but hey, this list I got right now could be very different within the next, even the next 3 to 4 months from now though. But yeah, those are some really great, exciting games that I'm really looking for that's going to be coming out in 2025. So that about does it in terms of my whole entire list of most anticipated games for 2025. I have a pretty good spread of games, everything from third party to obviously the first party Switch stuff, and then obviously first party Sony stuff as well. Xbox, I mean, I wouldn't consider these as like highly anticipated games though, but I am kind of interested in, seeing how Doom the Dark Ages also plays out as well though. That's a game I'm kind of excited for, but I wouldn't say highly anticipated for. And then, there's a lot of other games that will be announced throughout the rest of this year that's also going to be pretty cool whenever we get to see them come out though. I am very curious to see about your most anticipated games for 2025 down in the comment section down below though. And GTA 6, I know that's going to be a really big game if that manages to drop out this year, assuming if it doesn't get delayed but I know for a lot of people that might be your anticipated game. But that's going to basically do it in terms of this video right here though. So if you really like this video, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. And if you want to support the channel just a little bit more, then feel free to hit that join link to become a channel member down below. But that's going to basically do it for this video, y'all. So remember, y'all, until we have a video I make next, see y'all.